Hello, today we're going to be building a little program that prints out the things in my shopping list. So to start off, we can tell that we're going to be dealing with text here, not numbers or anything like that. So we know we're going to be dealing with strings. So we can say something like item 0 is equal to the string of tuna, item 1 is equal to the string of bread, and I'm already tired of typing. Like, I've typed 2 lines of code, I'm not even done yet. What if this list was bigger? Like, I don't want to make a variable for each individual item in my list. So wouldn't it be great if I could just make one variable and hold every item in my list? Well, it turns out you can, and conveniently enough, they're called lists as well. So the way we start it off is we say shopping list, or just whatever you want to call your list, and you set it equal to these square braces. So this tells Python that we're making a list variable. And just to prove that to you, I will print the type of shopping list. And then I'll run this. And we can see class list. So shopping list is of type list. So now what we can do is put information in here. So I can just directly type whatever information I want here. So I want my data right now is text. So that means I need to store strings inside this list. So in between my items, in between my strings, I put a comma. So now I can put bread and lastly pasta. So now I have made a list variable and I filled it with the data I want. Now let's actually start seeing what this does for us. So we can print shopping list. And if we print the whole thing, then we can see every item in it. But what if we only wanted to see tuna, or we only want to see pasta? What we can do is put these same square braces immediately after the name of the list, and we can put a number here. And that refers to the position of the item in the list. So let's put a 1. We want to see tuna. But we see bread, so what's happening here? It turns out computers actually start counting at 0, not at 1. So tuna is actually at position 0, bread is at position 1, which is why we see it here, and pasta is at position 2. So if we change this to a 0, we run it again, we see tuna, just as we'd expect. So what I'll do is I'm going to remove my specified location and just say print the whole list. So this is what we have right now. And then below this, I'm going to start adding to the list. So I want to add another item to my list. So the way I do that is I put the name of the list dot append. And you might even see it pop up on a little box like that. So append is a function. So we put these parentheses after it. And then here we put what we want to append to the list. What we want to put, just add to the end of the list. So let's put apples. So the string apples I want to add to the end of the shopping list. So now I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So now we should see tuna, bread, pasta print out. And then we should see that same list print out with apples added to it this time. And that's exactly what we see. So now let's say we want to remove something. So let's remove bread. What I'll do is I will space this one down and I'll say shopping list. So again, just the name of my list that I'm talking about, dot remove. And what do I want to remove? I want to remove a string of bread. So now I should see tuna, pasta, apples print out. Tuna, pasta, apples. And there we go. Just to keep the examples pretty clean, I've decided to just kind of bring us back to the previous example and remove all those extra functions. Just, keep things simple on all of us. So what we want to do next is we want to insert into the list. So essentially what I want to do here is space down bread and pasta and insert here. I want to say, let's just use apples again. So what I want is I want apples to be the second item in this list. So the way we do that is we say the name of the list that we're going to mess with, dot insert, and it needs to know two things. It needs to know where we want to insert and what we want to insert. So for the where, we need to tell it the position in the list. So we know computer start counting at 0. So this is item 0. This would be item 1. And that's where we want to go. So I'm going to put 1 here, put a comma. And now I need to say, what do I want to put there? Well, I want to put a string of apples right there. So now, when we run this, you can see apples is now the second item in our list. So, let's say we're looking at our list again. And for some reason, we can't figure out that this is the third item in our list. So we want to say, what is the index or position of bread in my list? The way we find that out is we say the name of the list dot index, and what are we looking for? We are looking for the index of bread. So this will give us a number, and I want to print out that number so I can actually see it on my screen. So I'm going to wrap the whole thing in a print. Now if I run this, you can see 2 prints out because it is the 0, 1, 2th or second item in our list. So just to explain this bit, what's happening is index at bread gives us back the number 2. So this entire highlighted section just equates to that. So then when we're just printing a 2, like this works, just as you'd expect. So just wanted to point that out. For this last example, I just wanted to make up some data. So let's just say this is like, I took the temperature at noon every day for however many days. And that's what we have here. So you can see we can make lists out of integers just like we can with strings. And we're not just limited to that. That also works for objects, which we'll learn about later. So let's say I wanted to count how often it was 81 degrees at noon. So what I can say is give it the name of my list dot count, and what do I want to count the number of? I want to count the number of 81s in this list, and then I want to print this whole thing out. So I'll wrap it with these parentheses, and we can run it, and we'll see 3 print out because there are 1, 2, 3 instances of 81 in the list temps. So I hope that made sense. I know this doesn't seem that exciting right now, but you'll just see how powerful these lists are later in the series. So hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching.